It began on an ordinary night, or at least it seemed ordinary to the people of Earth. The skies were calm, cities buzzed with their usual noise, and humanity continued in its endless routines of work, war, love, and survival. But far beyond what the naked eye could see, something stirred in the darkness of space. A signal, faint at first, then stronger, echoed across the void. It was not human. It was not natural. It was something greater, older, and vastly more powerful. The world's telescopes and satellites caught it within minutes, and suddenly every observatory on Earth was watching a silent storm ripple through the stars. The signal was a warning, or perhaps a declaration. No one could decipher the alien language in those first crucial hours, but the sheer strength of the broadcast made one thing clear. It was not meant for secrecy. Whoever had sent it wanted humanity to hear it. And when the best codebreakers finally began to unlock its meaning, the message chilled the blood of every leader on Earth. The words, translated crudely but unmistakably, were these: "Prepare yourselves, for the Empire comes. Surrender, and you will be spared. Resist, and you will be erased." Panic spread like wildfire. News channels around the world broke the story, some dismissing it as a hoax, others sensationalizing it until the streets were alive with fear. Was this a joke? A trick from a rival nation? Or was it truly the beginning of something no human had ever imagined possible? When the first images arrived, grainy scans of vast shapes moving at impossible speeds toward the solar system, doubt vanished. They were ships, thousands of them, larger than anything Earth had ever built. Ships that could cross light years as if they were nothing, and they were coming here. For the first time in human history, the nations of Earth stared at a common enemy. Old rivalries felt suddenly meaningless when compared to the cold certainty of annihilation. Presidents, generals, kings, and prime ministers convened in emergency councils. Militaries went on high alert. Satellites that once watched each other now turned outward, desperate to measure the scale of what approached. The United Nations, so often ignored, suddenly became the beating heart of Earth's last hope. And amid the chaos, a strange and powerful feeling began to spread. Not just fear, but unity. Humanity had always fought itself. Wars over land, resources, beliefs. But now, faced with an enemy beyond imagination, there was no time for petty divisions. Engineers in rival nations began to share blueprints. Scientists who had once been enemies shook hands and began to collaborate. Secrets guarded for decades were suddenly exchanged like survival rations. Nuclear powers pooled their arsenals. Space agencies, once competing for prestige, now worked side by side to launch defense